I am alive. And I'm back on YouTube. And I'm doing a draft league. Alright. Yeah, I've returned from the dead. I've been taking a break. You know how it is. Um, good to be back, you know. Uh, I've honestly never done a tournament or a draft league or anything. Like, this is my first real competitive thing I've done with Pokemon. I used to just, well, I mean, like, before this draft league, um, I was kind of just like, I would just kind of ladder up, you know. That like the ladder was the only really competitive thing I did, and I kind of want to spice it up, make it interesting for myself, and have something else to put into this vessel for my documents known as YouTube videos. So yeah, I just finished with drafting today. Actually, hold on. Just had to turn off my Discord notifications. Turn music down too. It might be a little bit quiet, but I can hear it pretty well all the same. So, all right. So this is just gonna go over my team, you know, my thoughts on the draft overall, and yeah. Also, this draft was, I turned off my Discord notifications, but my phone immediately went off. It's just my luck. And it's by a guy that never posts. Alright, that's cool. That is fantastic. Just my luck, huh? Yeah, like I was saying, this is... First of all, I still refuse to keep my channel professional. Alright. This is a place to document my progress and nothing more. But yeah, I'm rambling. I don't apologize. Yeah, this draft league was organized by my good friend Winterbub. He's running the draft league in his Discord server, and you know, he invited me to join, so I thought, you know what, I have the lower tier knowledge. You know, I know how to make those lower value Pokemon put in work. You know, so I thought it'd be pretty good at it, and also, I don't think anyone really knows how good of a battler I am. I think it's well known how good of a team builder I am, but like I'm gonna be sweating it out in the actual battles, right? Because I didn't really try on my laddering videos. I wasn't trying that hard. I was just kind of kicking back, chilling in mid ladder or whatever, not trying to get to top 10 or whatever. Pardon me. Let me get some water. I am parched, even though I just took a swig of water before recording. What was I gonna say? Right, yeah, so I'll definitely be going all out. And it's nice because, you know, this is the first thing regarding competitive Pokemon I've really been able to just go all out with. I mean, I've laddered to the top of, like, certain ladders before, but this is a whole different dynamic. So, for the uninitiated, in draft leagues, you'll get with however many people, and you'll all take turns picking Pokemon you want, and those Pokemon cost a certain number of points. Obviously, the better ones are going to be higher value than the lower ones. And then, you know, you only have a certain amount of points with which to buy 10 to 12 Pokemon in this case. A bunch of draft leagues have their own rules about like stuff like Terra or what's banned, what's allowed. But yeah, I'm just gonna get into my draft. Open up my phone here because it has all the mons I drafted on it because I didn't feel like remembering all of it because I got 12 mons, and also like I didn't want to like open the box that has all my drafts on it, so like suspense or whatever for the 3 people that might be watching. I don't know. So my first pick, I was 5th in the draft, by the way, out of 12. I was 5th out of 12. Um, well, there's kind of 11, but for all intents and purposes, there was 12. So I was 5th, which I mean that's not bad. That's not bad. You know, you get that early pick, and I had one pick in mind that I really wanted, and I was so worried it would get sniped from me, but I'm really glad it didn't. So my first pick was Iron Valiant. All right, this is the definition of a mixed attacker. Like, y'all haven't really seen me play OU much, so y'all probably wouldn't know this, but I love Iron Valiant. It's amazing. I mean, yeah, you probably know it if you follow OU at all. Like this thing is insane. Like, yeah, Chen Pao's good, Dragapult's good, whatever, right? But this thing can do so many things, right? I wanted a mon that was versatile, but could also be really threatening if given the opportunity, right? And I think Iron Valiant accomplishes that very well. It can run a number of different items, from Boost Energy to Life Orb to Choice Specs to Leftovers if you want. It can run a bunch of different move sets. Its EVs are very cool to play around with. It's got a really nice spread. The first fairy fighting type. It's overall just a really good mod. It did cost me 19 points out of the 120 I was given, but I think this was well worth it, and it honestly matches up really well into a lot of what other people got, especially if I run like booster speed. I think that could benefit a lot from it. Let me see something here. Yeah, okay. So I just have to run Jolly to get the booster speed. Right. So yeah, that's my first pick. Really happy with it. Also, I will be doing nickname themes. They'll be roughly the same theme every week, but I'll be changing them according to that theme. If you get the themes, you're actually amazing. And I want to be your best friend forever. So, Ting Lu was my second pick. I'm really glad this didn't get taken up, because there were 14 picks in between my Iron Valiant and Ting Lu pick. Because it's a snake draft, so it went from the first person to the 12th person, and then the 12th person back to the first person. So there was a lot more, well, there were a few more picks in between, as opposed to if it was just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you know. So, Ting Lu I really like because, obviously, like, look at these defenses, it's got amazing ability, amazing typing, it's just generally good. I did get a lot of picks with the prevalence of fighting types in mind, so this doesn't match super well into them, but it covers Iron Valiant's weaknesses pretty well. It covers steel. It covers yeah, no, fighting resists poison, not steel, right? So, you know, Ting Lu counters the steel types that threaten Iron Valiant, and then Iron Valiant counters the fighting types that threaten Ting Lu. So there's a lot of good synergy there. But also just hazard pressure in general is really nice, right? You factor in the fact that Stealth Rock and Spikes are, you know, just really good at wearing down walls that would otherwise beat more offensive teams, even if that's not what I'm running. And you start to realize, like, yeah, these, like, that pressure will really, that offensive pressure will really go well with, it'll go well with hazards. And on that note, someone in the tier did draft a stall team. It's mostly stall. They got Landorus Incarnate. I don't remember what else they all got, but Yeah, he got like Dondozo, Claude, Zyre, like Golden Go. Yeah. I mean, Golden Go's not really beholden to stalled, but it can work on stalled. Point being, like, yeah, like, it's just an amazing HP stat. And even on Ting Lu, you can run a number of different sets. Like, you can run Rocky Helmet, Leftovers. I like AV Ting Lu. I think that's a really cool set. Um, and, like, you know, it it's this is a deceptively good move pool because it looks like there's not a lot to work with here, but you really start to realize that all of these, or well, not all of these, but like most of these moves can really put in work over the course of the game, like body press, earthquake, heavy slam, like protect, rest, rock slide, ruination, spike, stealth rock, uh, you know, taunt, whirlwind. Like those are all good in their own right. Even bulldoze, I might bring, you know. So yeah, Ting Lu is my second pick. I, you know, really glad I got Ting Lu. Um, I was gonna trade out for Garchomp because there's a 24-hour grace period where you can make as many transactions as you want for other Pokemon that are free. Um, you know, after the draft finishes. I've already done mine. That just finished up about 2 hours ago. So, um, yeah. I was gonna trade in Ting Lu for Garchomp, but then I'm like, well, you know, Ting Lu's just so nice to be able to fall back on, right? It's really nice to have. And for my third pick is a Mon that really just counters so much of what anyone else can bring, and that Mon is a Zoomeril. You know, this is a really good defensive typing. Um, Assault Vest and Choice Band are both viable. Thick Fat and Huge Power are both similarly viable. You can mix and match with, you know, whatever you want. You can run like Huge Power Choice Band or like huge power AV or like Choice Band Thick Fat or whatever. Just it's really cool to be able to tailor Azu to what you need it to do, right? And it also beats a lot of really huge threats in the draft league. You know, Urshifu single strike is allowed in this. I mean, both Urshifus are allowed, really. Chen Pao is allowed. Um, it's good into Walking Away. What the hell is going on with the music? I like it. Um, but yeah, it doesn't have the best move pool in my opinion. A lot of these moves aren't great on Azu because, like, you know, I don't know. I'm not gonna run like Focus Blast, Grass Knot, Hydro Pump, Ice Beam on like Specs Azumarill or whatever, right? But I think there's some cool ideas. You know, you have your Aqua Jets, your Ice Spinners, nice. Does this get a pick? It does get Superpower. That's interesting. I could have sworn it lost that at some point. I'm glad it didn't. It does get Trailblaze, which is crazy. I might run that. Yeah, there's some cool ideas here. But yeah. I could also run Perish Trap if I really want to. But yeah. And this thing is like deceptively bulky too. Like, I mean, obviously, like, what is this? It hits 218, right? Yeah, 218 after huge power is like 436. So I don't need to tell you that is deceptively strong, even with base 50 attack. But, like, you know, like, if I were to just be super lazy with my EVs, like, this with Assault Vest would take so many, like, special attacks. It's insane. Like, I was running some calcs against Chi-Yu, which is also allowed, and, like, Thick Fat AV takes nothing if you go Spidef. It's crazy. Yeah. So, that is my third draft. Double Fairies. And, spoiler alert, my next pick is a Fairy type, but not without good reason. You'll notice that the team doesn't really have much recovery, right? Ting Lu gets rest, I guess. Like, Azu gets fucking Draining Kiss or whatever. Does it Drain Punch? It does get Drain. Like, it's not really reliable recovery, though. You know? It's lacking longevity for as bulky as Tinglu and Azu can be, and even Valiant if you want it to be like, I don't know, this right here. Like, this isn't bad, right? But this is all to say, like, there's no roost, there's no recovers on this team. So I thought to shore up this issue, I would go with one of my favorite support mons in the game, being Screamtail. Now, you'll notice this is another fairy type, but again, I'm not really worried about that. Because, think, what are the 3 types that beat fairy? Fire, poison, steel. Like, traditionally, that's how you beat fairy types. Well, look at what beats all of those 3 types. We have Tinglu, and even Azu beats those fire types, right? And I have some other picks that can beat, you know, steel types, and yeah, I can beat poison types pretty handily. Yeah, I'm not worried about poison types. I'm just looking at my other mons. But yeah, Screamtail's really nice. Amazing HP stat. I'm not a fan of the speed. I don't... If you've watched my UU team building videos, you know I don't like speed on Screamtail. I hate it. I think it's really cringe. It's just not worth it most of the time. Like, yeah, you speed creep Paimon, but, you know, it's not that deep. But yeah, this thing gets an amazing move pool. Like, it's absolutely phenomenal. You get Thunder Wave, you get Trick, Wish, you know, with that, you know, 434 HP stat. You get Encore, you get, you know, Protect buffering, you get Perish Song to, you know, maybe force a switch, Stealth Rock. Then, like, if you really want to, you can run like Bulk Up or Calm Mind. And Baton Pass is actually allowed if you're not intentionally passing stats. There's a couple of like exceptions to the rule, but I can't pass like Bulk Up or whatever to Iron Valiant. But like dry passing is allowed. Is there anything else it gets? Fake Tears could be cool. Maybe, I don't know. The Sea Terrain, I don't hate. Yeah, it's like Rain Dance, Sunny Day for like Weather Wars if I really want to. I guess I could run Trick Room looking at the other mons I have. I don't hate that idea. I don't know. I don't have too much experience with Trick Room, but yeah. Screamtail's really nice. And honestly, with the 3 fairies I have, if you have a ground type, fairy's just not a bad type to have in general. You know, like, it's not gonna hurt. You know, with all the fighting and dragon type attacks being just thrown left and right, and the dark type attacks, right? And just, it's just nice to have. It's nice to be able to fall back on. And Screamtail is really good at, you know, just being able to fall back onto, right? So, I was really happy with the 4 mons I drafted so far. And what the hell? Okay. I was happy with the 4 mons I was able to draft so far. And it was at this point I was really just thinking, okay, it's not so much about what my team needs, it's about what it could use, right? Like I said, I have 0 draft league experience, but, you know, I knew that having a versatile team that could cover a lot of bases would be really nice. And for that, I added Lycanroc Dusk. It's similar to Iron Valiant in that it's a fast attacker, but it has a really special set of skills that I enjoy. Tough Claws is an amazing ability. You know, really good speed stat, solid attack stat for what it wants to do. It can run Life Orb, and then that stacks with Tough Claws, of course. You run like Accelerock, Stone Edge, Close Combat, and like last move can be whatever you want. You get Crunch, you get Fire Fang if you want to stick it to like grass types. You get Play Rough, you get Psychic Fangs, you get Sucker Punch, you get Swords Dance, right? This mod has a really good move pool for what it wants to do. I'm going to turn this music down for myself. Yeah. So, I want it to be able to come out on the recording. You know. So I'll just turn it up a little bit. Yeah, should be fine. So, yeah, Lichen Rock is really nice. Um, I haven't. I don't think I ever built with it in my team building series, but I don't know. It's kind of been in a weird place this generation. You know, it's hard to justify. Oh my God, there's so many mons in OU. I can't wait for the drops to come out. It's the 30th as of recording this, so cannot wait for some of these mons to be in UU. It's gonna be amazing. But like, if you look at UU, it's kind of hard to justify Lichen Rock, right? Like Dawn Fan, the like just the bulky grounds, and you know your what else? You know, your Slow Bros, your Tauros, uh, even Talon, even Talonflame. You know, it can switch in on those close combats and threaten a Flame Body burn, right? Whereas in Draft League, it's kind of hard to wall because, you know, it's not like everyone's going to be taking all of the top mons. A lot of people went for lower value mons starting at like round 3. Some guy took a Hisuian Electrode at round 1, but that was the exception, by no means the rule. Um, but yeah, uh, Lichen Rock is really nice. I'm glad I can, you know, justify using it this gen. Its shiny is amazing. I always love this shiny. Um, yeah, it's just a nice, you know, no nonsense, get in, do damage, get out kind of mon, and I really appreciate that. Now the next mon is pretty it's pretty nice to have, for a couple of reasons. One, it can be a really dangerous setup sweeper, but two, and most importantly, I found a slight kink in the rules that wasn't necessarily an oversight, but just something I thought I'd take advantage of. So my next Pokemon that I've drafted is Oricorio. Now, on the draft document, and I checked, it said nothing about which Oricorio form I would be taking if I just said, I want Oricorio. So I get the Fire, Psychic, Electric, and Ghost forms. I basically get 3 Pokemon for the price of 1. Like, yeah, they have the same sets, but being able to mix and match those typings is amazing, right? Having the different revelation dances, it just forces so much more pressure in, you know, the team builder and just prepping for matches that I think it'll really throw my opponents for a loop. You know, if they're expecting Fire Oricorio because they don't know about the loophole or whatever, you know, you know, I know I can bring Azu and, well, no. Let me see. It's like they could bring like a water type or a, I guess rock. They would bring rock type wouldn't beat Oricorio anyway, but like, okay, you know, they bring a water type. I can bring an electric type, which I do have and I'll be getting to, or I could bring electric Oricorio, right? And it just it's just so nice to have, you know, all the Oricorios, right? Obviously, Quiver Dance is insane. You know, you can use it for defogging. You can go Ghost Oricorio if you want to spin block. You can go Electric Oricorio to stick it to the bulky waters, right? It's just really nice to have all 4 forms, and it's honestly one of my favorite picks. I have, you know, it's just I think it's really funny, you know. Yeah, Oricorio, amazing pick. And so my 7th pick. Oh, I just realized well, it'll probably be in the thumbnail. It might not be in, hold on. There, you know how to pull out the signature MS Paint masterpiece, right? You know, got the Rotom as the mascot. I wasn't able to get Wash Rotom on the team. Someone else snagged that, but that's all right. You know, the I like this team, the Washington Machines. We were all gonna do something, sports related. At least try to. That was the idea. Just try and do something sports related. I'm not an average sports enjoyer, so I didn't really have anything on my mind, but I was looking. I just looked up, NFL team names, and I'm like, oh, Washington Machines, like washing machines. I like it. I and then I spent. You'd be surprised how long I spent in the team, or not the team build, MS Paint, making this. It was surprisingly hard, but yeah. So there's that. Um, I have a rough idea of what I'm gonna do for the thumbnail, so you probably won't see it. You probably won't see the logo in the thumbnail. Now, with that intermission out of the way, I'm going to turn on my fan because it's really hot in here. Ugh, okay. Jesus Christ. Damn near breaking a sweat in here. Yep. I do live in a place that gets pretty hot during the summer, so AC is much appreciated, but not much of it to go around right now. With that intermission done, my next Pokemon that I've drafted is Hoopa. All right. Now, I kind of went back and forth on what I wanted for like a kind of a psychic type wall breaker, because hey, I needed a way to break those bulkier teams like the stall team that the one guy drafted. Um, just bulkier mons in general who could sit on Valiant or Lycanroc or whatever, right? Those unaware mons. And I thought Hoopa would be really nice for the job. You know, um, it's got an amazing stat spread. It's not terribly fast, but 150 attack, that is insane. That hits 438. That's in, it's ridiculous, right? That's as much as Kyogre. I was gonna say it's as much as Mewtwo, but I know Mewtwo's 154. But still, this is really nice. I was gonna get Hoopa Unbound if it was still available, but it got taken up. So we'll settle for regular Hoopa. Now that said, the special defense is still really nice. There could be some ideas with like AV to shore up the admittedly mediocre HP. The speed, it's not great, but I'm not terribly worried about it, right? Because again, this is supposed to be a wall breaker. It's not supposed to outspeed threats and, revenge kill them or start sweeping entire teams. No, it's supposed to set up, a winning situation for, say Iron Valiant or Lycanroc or a Choreo, right? Magician, not an amazing ability, but I did get what the hell? I don't know. I did choose Hoopa as one of my Terra captains, and I set it to Psychic and Dark, right? Psychic just for the ability to hit even harder with Psyshock or Psychic, whichever one I choose to bring. Also, getting rid of the Ghost weakness can be pretty useful in some matchups, but if I'm really terrified of like Ghost and Dark types, I can Terra Dark because that's what I set my other Terra type to be. You can choose two of them. So, yeah, overall, just like it has a lot of physical moves now that I look at it. But I mean, when you're running a special wall breaker, Shadow Ball, Thunderbolts, Psychic, Psyshock, and then Dark Pulse. That's really all you need. It in the team builder, I don't think it's really going to be a question of, oh, what moves do I choose for Hoopa? This doesn't necessarily suffer from 4-move slot syndrome, right? Is there anything else? It's Thief. Let's go. Wonder Room could be really funny, but I don't think I'd run it. But yeah, like this thing with choice specs is gonna like really just smash anything that stands in its way. Um, really glad to have it on the team, right? The MV Classic, if you will. So, from what I know about draft leagues, it's always good to have a grounded poison. Otherwise, toxic spikes, really start to threaten you. And, poison types, the right ones can be really good defensively. And so I had a certain one in mind, but I had other priorities, right? I needed, Iron Valiant, because Iron Valiant, I wanted Ting Lu for the, I wanted all these mons, right? And I figured they would get grabbed up quickly. So I thought to myself, how do I still get a grounded poison that I want and, have it be good while, getting these other mons? Well, there's a very underrated pick that I think is actually going to be really good. And this is the part of the draft where my lower tier knowledge really starts to come through. As the higher value mons get taken, these lower value mons start to become more prevalent, and you have to think about what each of them can do and how they can fit on your team. And I think I have a lot of experience dealing with that. I play UU, NU, PU, RU. I know those tiers inside and out. Not so much PU, but that's all to say. I have seen what this grounded poison can do, and it has a very good type and ability. Now that is Hisuian Quillfish. I chose this over regular Quillfish, mainly for the typing. Dark Poison is really good. You're only weak to ground at that point. And even then, I have some good ground answers, Oricorio, Azu is neutral, Ting Lu can take them. Everything else is basically neutral, save for Lycanroc. And I do have another ground immunity that I drafted. But yeah, Hisuian Quillfish is just generally a good defensive pivot in general, with Intimidate to, really stop, choice banded attackers or dangerous mons in general for setting up. And after Eviolite, those defenses start to look really good. Fizdef is just gonna live everything, right? And it just gets a really good move pool too. You get Barb Barrage, that 50% poison in the basically Venoshock effect on top of that. You get Haze, you get Destiny Bond, you get Spikes, Taunt, Toxic Spikes, Hex if you really want to, right? Even Aqua Jet could be useful. I do think I could put that to good use. Yeah. So this mod is just really good in general. The speed is also decent, 85 isn't anything too special, but you'll still be outrunning, some things if you feel as though you absolutely must. Yeah, so this is my 8th pick for the draft. Now for my 9th pick, I was going back and forth between two mons. One of them was Magnezone, and then I realized, well, there's an electric type that I love even more, and that is Electros, alright? Longtime viewers know that I love this mon. It's cool as fuck, right? But it also can just do a lot of things for the team. It has no weaknesses, which is invaluable when you have to prepare for, so many things that your opponent can bring. It can run a number of different items. It can run, Coil. It can run, okay. Right, I thought I got Calm Mind. Okay. Yeah, I mean, even then, it can run Volt Switch. It can run, Dragon Tail for phasing. It can run Thunder Wave, right? This is just a really good, reliable mon. It doesn't have any recovery, which, is a little annoying, but still, I think I got this for 4 or 5 points. That is a steal for a mon with no weaknesses and an amazing move pool. There's a lot of things to like about this mon, especially in Draft League, in my opinion. Now, of course, that is coming from a place of not having done a draft league before, uh, but yeah, it's just really nice to have. Um, I'm glad I was able to pick it up. I I was in the I did a little bit of gaslighting to get this mon. Someone was talking about wanting Electros, and I'm like, no, no, it's just it's too weak. It's not bulky, and it's like, okay, yeah, it's all of those things. All right, it's got enough power to hold you over. It's decently bulky, especially after AV. It can pivot out. All right, I did a little bit of gaslighting to get this mon, but that's okay. You know, I was gonna make it Terra Steel as one of its options, just so I can only have two weaknesses and then just be able to resist a ton of stuff in return. But then it's like, I have another Terra in mind that I did end up using, right? Another Terra Captain that I did decide to get. Now, that's not what this next one is, but a mon that I'm honestly surprised wasn't taken yet. Houndstone. Now, Last Respect is thankfully banned in this draft league, but when you consider that this thing gets fluffy and Will-O-Wisp and Body Press and Roar, you really, and like 100 defense is not bad at all. You really start to realize, like, yeah, this thing can function really well as just a good sponge for all manners of physical attacks, right? I was thinking of how to beat Sneasler. First of all, thank God the person who got Sneasler didn't get a terrain setter. Um, at the very least, I'll have to use manual terrain, which I can cope with. But like, yeah, like, then it hits me. Houndstone is amazing, even if even if they bring like Night Slash Sneasel. Let's actually run this calc. Let's run this calc. So, um, Houndstone defensive into Sneasler. Choice band. Yeah, even Fire Punch after Fluffy does nothing, and then factor in Night Slash. I bet it's not even doing 40. Oh my, it does nothing, right? Like, this is the Sneasler answer, right? And it doesn't just answer Sneasler, right? It answers so many things. It can answer, Urshifu, Rapid Strike if I really need it to. It could answer, Zamazenta, right? It's got a lot of merit to it, aside from just answering Sneasler. And again, like I said, I wanted this team to be well-rounded, and I think I'm accomplishing that so far. All of these Mons, with the exception of, a couple, can do a lot of different things and are very versatile in what they bring to the table. And I'm really glad I was able to build a team that sort of saw to that. What is... Yes. Yeah, so there's a lot that every Mon really brings to the table. Even the Mons that are kind of beholden to one role, like say Lycanroc Rock or Koopa, or you can make an argument for Quillfish. They're really good in their own rights as well, right? So I'm glad I was able to sort of see to that. Now, my next Mon, and my Terra Captain, my second Terra Captain at that, is Primate. Alright? If you have ever played RU, if you've played, like, at least 5 matches of RU, you've probably seen what this thing can do. Right? You throw an Eviolite on it, make its bulk actually pretty good. Throw on Bulk Up, Drain Punch, Rage Fist, last can be Rest, Stealth Rock, Earthquake if you want. Right, Taunt if you're running, enough speed to justify it. I'm gonna get some water. Okay. Yeah. So, this thing can really spiral out of control quickly. I went with Terra Water and Terra Steel as my Terra types. I was considering going Terra Ghost, just for the Rage Fist boost, but I think, if you've gotten hit twice, you're not worried about it, right? So, it's just nicer overall to have a good defensive typing. Terra Water and Terra Steel just cover a lot of matchups in general. You know, I can uh, play it accordingly, right? Um, and just it'll snowball out of control if the opponent lets it. You know, I don't even have to invest in attack. That's the thing. I can go defense. I can go full defensive, and you know, or I guess since this is a bulk up attacker, knowing me, I'd probably go. You're right. That it's like okay, after a bulk up, suddenly I'm at uh, suddenly I'm at uh, what like 350 defense. You know, like almost 400 special defense, 333 HP. Like this thing will get out of control if the opponent isn't careful, right? That's just the nature of bulk up Rage Fist. You know, especially on a mon that can now hold Eviolite, which is a huge buff to Primeape. I'm really glad it's usable now, because I always thought the concept of it was cool. It just never really found its place, and I'm glad it has now. So, so this is 11 mons, right? And I was allowed 12. So I originally drafted Chansey because the mon I wanted got sniped, but the second the grace period for transactions started, this mon that I wanted got freed up, and I traded Chansey in for it. And I think it helps me against a lot of my tougher matchups, and that mon is Mouthold. Now, this mon, I have it for a couple reasons. Well, first, I wanted Terra Captain, like Terra Normal, but I thought it might have been a little overkill. Right? That was mainly for the stall team and just, the bulkier teams that got drafted in general, which weren't too many because a lot of people in the league enjoy more offensive styles, which more power to them, but it's not really my thing. This is all to say, Tidy Up is really nice hazard removal, for when I run into Golden Go, right? Population Bomb in general, like, we all saw Day 1 OU, that thing was just tearing it up. Bite, Low Kick, Bullet Seed, they're all nice coverage options. It gets Encore, Chilling Water, Super Fang, Switcher, Taunt, Thunderwave, U-Turn. It can do a lot of things, right? It's deceptively good at a lot of different roles, right? It's got an amazing speed tier, that nice 111 is just amazing. Its attack isn't anything too special, but of course after a Population Bomb, it's going to be doing a lot of damage, right? So, Mouthold was my 12th and final pick for my draft league. So I really like the team I have. I wanted to build a team that kind of played to my strengths. If you've seen any of my team building videos, I like building, bulky offense, balance type teams. And I think this, has, what those kinds of teams look for. It has those defensive mons you can fall back onto while still being able to hit hard in return. I think it exemplifies it really well. I don't think I'll really be getting bowled over unless, I let someone get to like +4 with Dragon Dance or whatever. And if that's the case, then that's my fault, right? And I can just run like Tinglu or like Encore on whatever the hell. But yeah, so overall with the draft league, I've seen the opponents. It's a mixed bag. There's some people that have very little experience, and one person who went 9-0 in his last draft league won the whole thing. So there's a lot of people to watch out for. I'm really excited for the competition. I'm excited to really push myself to be the best I can be and just show what I can do. Right? This is my first real competitive venture, and I'm excited to start. I will be uploading all my matches here, and yeah, that's all I got. I'm really excited for the draft league to start. I should have a video up, not this Sunday, but the following Sunday, maybe? I'm not sure yet, but it should be sometime next week that I'll have the video up. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting into this, and I'm hoping to go all the way, because I do think I can. You know, I I think I have the skill set both in team building and in battle to really just go all the way, win the whole thing, and I will do my damn best to see to that. That's going to be it for me.